Hi, my name's Jamie Nichols. This is my evaluation program final presentation. The program I chose to evaluate is the after school intervention program that's offered at the elementary school where I work. Um, so we'll jump in. The program description, it's an educational program. The purpose of the program is to provide struggling students, specifically those who are receiving scores that are below grade level, with extra support outside of their normal classroom instruction. The program did not have a mission statement provided anywhere that I could find, and I did ask my principal as well, and she couldn't find one either. The stakeholders for the program include the district superintendent of curriculum. This is the person who provides funding for the program. The school site administration, they provide support and materials for the program. And the parents of the students involved, they have to give written permission for their students to participate in the program since it is a program that takes place after school regular hours. The participants are students varying in age from grades K through 8. All ethnicities and both sexes are applicable to the program. The students, like I said earlier, are students who are struggling. They receive scores that are below grade level in either reading or math. The program has been in place for the past 5 years, and as far as we know, it's going to continue on for the foreseeable future, and the program is implemented district-wide. Program objectives. The program has two objectives. They are to promote literacy and to help struggling students reach grade level. Program efficacy is addressed by evaluation of students' pre and post assessment scores. The program's goals. The proximal goals are that students' reading levels be improved and that students' math assessment scores be raised. Distal goals are that students below grade level will improve their scores, which in turn will raise the district averages, and students move on to the next grade level at a higher level, which in turn improves test scores. I teach second grade, and we have opted out of standardized testing at this point, so we don't have a standardized test to take in the spring, but they do begin taking the standardized test in third grade, so the test scores should be higher to begin with. The needs assessment, I identified two sources of information that support the program need. The first would be district-wide test scores. I work at a Title I school, so the test scores district-wide are generally, or on average, pretty low. So with the implementation of an intervention program, the district gets the chance to help more of its struggling students improve their test scores. We have a wide range of populations at our school. We have a high level of English language learners, whether they be Spanish speakers. We have a pretty high population of Asian students or Hmong students. So any help that these kids can get outside of the regular classroom is beneficial because they do struggle with reading, especially at such a at my grade level, because they're still primarily speaking their primary language. Stakeholder feedback. The stakeholders, specifically the district superintendent of curriculum, saw a need in our district for a way to give our struggling students more opportunities for help. Again, being at a Title I school, we have a large population of EL students who struggle with reading. The reading intervention program allows these students to get additional help with the credentialed teacher. And we do, like I said, offer two separate intervention programs, a reading and a math. And students in our district have low math scores too, and we think that has a lot to do with their reading abilities. We teach math in a CGI format, which is cognitively guided instruction. So it's based mostly with word problems. And if students can't read those word problems, then their scores are going to be low. They're not going to know what the problem is asking them to do and what information the problem is giving them. So it's important that our students have good reading levels so that they can have high scores all around. Evaluation considerations. The biases I found are that parents can request that their child be put into the program even if they are not struggling. And this, I feel, is a bias to me because it causes spots to fill up, and each intervention section is only allowed to have 10 students in it. So if we have parents requesting that their student be put into it when they don't really necessarily need it, the spots for the kids who do need it are taken. I feel it defeats the purpose of the program and makes it ineffective for the entire school population. I know, for example, this past fall when we did our round of intervention, we had a student who she's Asian in background, and we know that the stereotype for that culture is that parents push their children, and it's important for their students to be the best. And we have a girl in second grade who is extremely high and above grade level, and one of the top students at the school, but her mom makes her participate in any and all extracurricular educational programs. So she was put into the math intervention program, and it took a spot away from a student who really needed it, but they weren't allowed to be in because the spot was filled. Unforeseen side effects might include finding that the program is ineffective, and that may cause the district to rethink its format or the program altogether. Since the study will be based strictly on pre and post assessment scores to determine how much growth these students are actually seeing in their levels, if it's found that not much growth is achieved or not as much growth as the district or stakeholders would like, they may choose to terminate the program and use the funding in a different way. Evaluation stakeholder relationship. The evaluator's relationship with the stakeholders is a professional one. The stakeholders generally are in management positions to the evaluator. Like I said, the stakeholders include the district superintendent of curriculum and the school site administration. And the evaluators would be a group of teachers. So these stakeholders are in higher positions than the evaluators. The stakeholders have little involvement with the program except that they have decided the format that the program should be taught in and that they provide funding for the program. The school site administrators decided that the program, the reading intervention program, will be taught in centers, and guided reading should be the main focus. And the math intervention program is also taught in small groups within the small group of 10 students, where 5 students are working independently, and the other 5 students are pulled back with the teacher to work on CGI word problems that might be new or difficult. AEA's guiding principles. The principle I chose first was competence. The evaluators for this program will be credentialed teachers who use CGI and guided reading in their classrooms and have also been through extensive trainings on these subjects. Evaluators will be trained as to what to look for and what to include when creating pre and post assessments for the intervention program. All teachers at our school sites in the district go through summer guided reading and CGI trainings on a yearly basis. The trainings are extensive. We also receive multiple trainings on both subjects throughout the year to make sure that all of our teachers are, exemplary in providing this sort of curriculum to our students, since we don't use textbook-based curriculum anymore. Principle number 2 is systematic inquiry. The evaluators will make sure that all parties involved in this program evaluation will have a full understanding of all aspects that it will entail. They will know all steps that will be taken and will be involved fully along the way. Results of the evaluation will be communicated to all parties involved within 1 week of the evaluation's closure. Data collection. The data that I will be using will be standardized test scores. Quantitative data will include scores from the pre and post assessments to determine students' growth. and qualitative data will be the different types of questions used on the assessments. By using different types of questions, it will be easy to determine where students' specific strengths and weaknesses lie. The experimental design will take on a quasi-experimental non-equivalent groups design within a quantitative framework. This means that I will be using a pre and post assessment for the independent and dependent variables. Of course, the same pre and post assessment for both groups. The subjects of the program evaluation will not be randomly assigned. Like I said, they are chosen generally based on their scores, but sometimes by request of the parent. And my program will be based solely on quantitative results. The cost analysis. 3 program costs include salaries for the instructors, transportation for the students to get home after school, because we do provide busing for these students that stay late, and materials such as copies for each class. And I put class in quotations because it's just each group of intervention students. 3 program benefits include higher test scores, less students below grade level in reading and math, and increased motivation for struggling students. We know that based on research, students who have higher levels have higher motivation. If they struggle, they're not likely to enjoy what they're doing. So hopefully by giving them some confidence and helping them raise their scores, we can also increase motivation. Ethical considerations include equal instruction time. Like I said, the intervention courses are taught in a center format, so it's important to make sure that each subgroup within the class is receiving equal instruction time, and some students aren't receiving more time with the teacher than others. And it's important that instruction is appropriate to skill level. Especially in guided reading, it's important to know what a student's instructional reading level is, and if you're not providing instruction within that instructional reading level, it's inappropriate and not helpful generally to the students. If you're making them read a book that's way higher than their level, they're not getting anything out of that except frustration, which would lower their confidence and lower their motivation. So the fact that the skill is appropriate to the instruction is appropriate to the student's skill level is incredibly important. So that's my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. This intervention program is actually something that I have taught in the past and will be teaching again in the future, I'm sure. In my experience, it has worked, and all of my groups of students, I've seen great improvement in both math and reading. I've taught both groups, and the students really enjoy it. The instructors try to keep it fun for the students because it is after a long school day and they don't want to be there. You know, they want to go home and watch TV and play outside and do whatever kids do. So as instructors, we try to make sure that we keep, their interest there. So in my experience, the program is beneficial and it is useful and it is a good way for the district to spend that funding. So thank you for listening.